Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is July 24th, and right now we're looking at the visible satellite imagery. You can see Southern California, not too much in the way of the marine layer, except for the immediate coastal areas. Central Coast a little bit more, the Bay Area socked in a bit more as well, and Northern California dealing with some of that stratus layer right along the immediate coastline. So let me back this up yesterday. I want to show you what happened during the day. Watch the cumulus clouds build up across Northern California, Sierra Nevada, and you can see those pop off during the day. And then we started to get the lightning strikes there. And we got some across Northern California too as well. So we did have some of that isolated thunderstorm activity there yesterday. That's going to be a reoccurring theme over the next few days. And we'll take a look at the extended forecast as always as we go through the video here this morning. So last 24 hours, you can see where we did have that isolated lightning activity. Checks out with what we just saw on the satellite imagery. And if you want your own lightning detection system, click on the link down below. This weather station is very fun. It tells you how far the lightning strikes are from your house. Plots it on a map for you. Yeah, stores it in the cloud, and yeah, good stuff. Fun times. Now, taking a look here at the smoke, let's back this up to the 12Z run and take a look at what we're dealing with. So overall, again, not too bad. A few fires out there, but overall, it could be much worse. I know in years past we've had, the entire state just absolutely engulfed in some of this smoke activity. And I'm going to back this all the way up to the 12Z so we can play this out 48 hours. And you can see the Orleans complex still producing some smoke drifting across some of the Sacramento Valley and some of the Bay Area and the coastal areas over the next couple of days. But, not too bad, all things taken into consideration. Now, this is current right now. We've got a red flag warning for some portions of Northern California. There is some isolated dry thunderstorm potential here with these thunderstorms as we go through the afternoon hours. More on that here in a moment. You can see that red flag warning. They talk about the percent of the chance of thunderstorm activity, deadly lightning, gusty erratic winds, and of course, new fire starts. So Sacramento and Eureka are all over this, talking about the chances of thunderstorms today and Friday. It's also going to be a chance on through this weekend as well. They even mentioned small hail in there, but yeah, probably the biggest threat is going to be the fires and the lightning strikes. So if we take a look at Sacramento National Weather Service, they have the percentages all the way down towards Mammoth Lakes or South Lake Tahoe, Carson City, and Reno. For example, there's Susanville. So this is thunderstorm probability for today. And again, we're going to be rinsing and repeating and having some of these thunderstorms ongoing during the afternoon hours over the next few days. Looks like I timed out there, but I wanted to show you the Storm Prediction Center also agrees with that. This is, if we go back to day one, there's day two we're looking at. Actually, let's go to day one. There we go. There's day two and day three. A very similar picture here across the Sierra Nevada and northern portions of California. Now, let's go ahead and take a look over here. We'll go to fire weather outlooks as well because I want to show you this. You see this ISO-DRYT? That is isolated dry thunderstorms. It means that thunderstorms are not going to be producing enough precipitation to extinguish any kind of fires they may develop out there. And you can see scattered. Isolated is in the brown. There's even that scattered across Northeast California. So we got to watch out for that. And they even put a discussion out there as well for those dry thunderstorms. So yeah, not a good look. That could be starting some fires across portions of Oregon, California, and Nevada. Now, if we take a look here at 500 millibar heights, we got this upper level low, so it's helping kick you off some of these thunderstorms over the next few days. You can see how it hangs with us as we go through Friday. We're now checking on into Saturday morning. Still got the trough here across a lot of the west coast of North America. Then the ridge starts to build across the interior portions of the USA. And the Gulf of Alaska trough really gets ramped up here, helping to amplify some of this ridging. Tries to move back across some portions of the Intermountain West, but we still have some semblance of some systems trying to roll through here that will keep things suppressed temperature-wise. Anyway, it's not going to allow us to warm up too much. We got to wait for the heat waves when we get the big ridges set up over the top of California. We'll look at some of that here in the extended forecast in a moment. But I also want to drive home the point again here. There's the thunderstorm activity today. We go through Friday, rinse and repeat. Let's go to Saturday afternoon. You guessed it, more thunderstorms with those exact locations. And if you go on in through Sunday, it starts to lighten up a bit there, but still the potential for it. And then we go to Monday afternoon. Looks like we get a bit of a break as we get towards the early portion of next week. A little bit of a monsoon signal here starting to show up for portions of Arizona and New Mexico early portion next week as well. It doesn't look too strong right now. Now, total precipitation in inches is, as you can imagine, all that precipitation is going to be focused across portions portions of the Sierra Nevada and Northern California. And, you're looking at 3 days here. This is not a lot of rainfall. And again, these thunderstorms are not going to be producing too much in the way of precipitation, except for maybe some very isolated locations. And those lightning strikes could really start to produce some new fire. So let's cross our fingers that doesn't happen. So daily 2-meter max temperatures. Here we go. Today, Thursday, July 24th. You can see widespread 80s, maybe 90 for Bakersfield there. Of course, the desert area is a bit warmer. Southern California. When you get away from the coastal terrain, or the coastal areas, I should say, you start to get up into the 80s, into the higher terrain. You start to warm things up a bit. And then we go through Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We start to warm things up a little bit here as we go through next week. You see the 90s returning for the Sacramento Valley. San Joaquin Valley, Southern California warming up a bit here as well. Looks like Death Valley getting up over 115 degrees or so. And we go on in through next week, and you can kind of see no extreme heat, but a little bit of a warm up coming. Now, this is the last week. Check it out. The average minimum temperatures departure from average. You can see much of the state here has been below normal. And you can really see some areas have been pretty chilly with some of these overnight lows. But in the month of July, who's going to complain about that, right? It's very nice to cool off during the nighttime hours. But if we take a look at the max temperature departure from average, look at the Bay Area and some of the Central Coast. In fact, much of the state has been below normal over the last week. You can see some places between 6 to 8 to 10 degrees below normal for the last week. So definitely enjoy this while it lasts. You know it's not going to last forever. Now, this is over the last month here, and you can see we've got kind of a mixed bag. Interior areas a bit warmer, but you can see the Bay Area, look at that, you're between 3, 4, and 5 degrees below normal over the last month. But you can see how it is kind of isolated to some of the coastal regions here as well. Now, if we take a look at June, though, you might think, we've been having a pretty cold summer. Not really the case when you take everything into account. The record warmest would show up as 131 years of records here for the month of June. And out of 131 years, this is the 122nd warmest June for the state of California. So yeah, we've been much above average temperature-wise for the month of June, even though some places have been chillier than normal. If you take everything into account, that's what we come up with, 122nd. And if we look at precipitation, with the 11th driest, if we were the driest, it would show up as 1. If we were the wettest, it would show up as 131. So yeah, it's been very dry also across much of the state of California when you average everything out as of June 2025. Now, 2-meter temperature anomaly. Let's scroll through here. And again, as I showed you, we're going through a gradual warm up here, but still some places remaining below normal, including the Central Coast, some of the Bay Area. Once you get north of the Bay Area, Southern California coastal areas as well, still below normal in the 8 to 15 day range. Now, extended forecast a little bit here. There's that upper level low that's with us. Troughing stays with us. We mentioned that. Ridge starts to build over interior portions of the country. We still get this trough influence here with us through the end of the month. And we scroll off into the future and look at this one just kind of keep hanging out here across the west coast of North America, not allowing us to warm up too much. I know a lot of people will like to hear that, but you can see we swing that trough through. Then are we going to get a bit of a pattern change to the extended forecast? You're looking 12, 13 days off into the extended run here, so it's not really worth getting caught up too much in that. But look at that ridge start to nose its way back towards the west coast of North America. Just a fantasy ridge out there at this point. And if we look at the European ensemble mean, let's scroll through that. Upper level low, troughing hangs out, no big heat dome by any means across the state of California, and we kind of keep this troughing going here through the 10 plus day time period, and who knows what's going to happen after that. European wants to show some kind of ridge getting reestablished here across the southwest USA. Not going to worry too much about that in that time range here. We're looking way over 10 days off in the forecast. So 6 to 10 day below normal here across much of the state. There's a 6 to 10 day precipitation, kind of a mixed bag here. We'll see how that turns out. No promises with any of these maps. 8 to 14 day temperature there, and precipitation mixed bag as well. And yeah, check out the Patreon page if you want. Also, you can get my daily updates. It'll send you to you via email and whatnot, just to let you know that I have released them. And you can donate some of your hard-earned money if you want to as well here. It's also free to join, so you can get these updates. So anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. Otherwise, click like and subscribe. We will do this all again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.